with 4 individual national titles at Notre Dame. Oh, by the way, she's going to represent not just Notre Dame, but the United States in the 2021 Olympics because she decided to run a marathon one day and she happened to place second in the Olympic trials. She loves donuts, so I love her. Please welcome Molly Seidel. Molly, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, let's talk about your illustrious career. And the fact that you hadn't ran a marathon ever in your life. You decided to run your first marathon and you placed second in Olympic trials. What was that like?
It was absolutely crazy. I have to say, I was definitely so nervous going into that race. I've been training really hard, but yeah, kind of like you said, it was the first time I'd ever run a marathon and figured no better place than the Olympic trials. It only comes around every 4 years. I'd gotten the qualifier, so lined up, and it went better than I ever could have imagined.
And this is after a huge hip surgery you had, right? You just had a hip surgery and you had to change your whole training routine. I love too. I read you said you were trying to compare yourself to others, but then you stopped doing that and just tried to run your best race. What was that process like after surgery, trying to find a new way to train?
Yeah, so basically, I had hip surgery in 2018 and I couldn't run for about 6 months after that. And then once I came back, it was a really long, slow grind getting back into training just because generally I'm like for marathon training, I'm running upwards of 120 miles a week. And going from running no miles for half of a year to doing that, it was really hard. And I really had to kind of change the way that I approached the sport. And a lot of it was just realizing, like, okay, my body's pretty different from other people's bodies, and I kind of just have to like accept that and be confident in that, in the way that I was training. And once I did that, I feel like I kind of had a breakthrough and I was able to just like access this new level of training that I hadn't before when I finally started like kind of just trusting in myself and believing in myself.
Welcome to the life of a lineman. Your body's a little different. You got to train different than everybody else. But you also had to, I mean, one of the things people don't know about Olympians like yourself, training is very scheduled so that you peak at the right time. And then coronavirus put a hold on your Olympics. What have you done in the face of this adversity, both scheduling and training wise, to maintain your physical condition?
Yeah, so it was definitely really difficult right when we got the word because it was like this enormous high of qualifying for the Olympics. And then literally 2 weeks later, felt like the entire world shut down. And so we had to really format like all these plans that we'd had going forward for the summer just kind of like went away in an instant. And so my coach and I, we talked and really tried to look at this extra year that we got as an opportunity to get stronger because realistically I'm super inexperienced at the race that I do, and we're like, okay, if we get the opportunity to train for an extra year now, potentially race another marathon, like it will be that much stronger when we head to Tokyo. So yeah, I did exactly that, kind of just nose to the grindstone, trained throughout the pandemic. Every run that I've done in Boston since March has been in a mask. But yeah, I got to race the London Marathon in October. Felt like I've gotten in really good training, and I'm really excited as we head into this new year and looking forward to next August.
Well, in London and Tokyo won't be your only trips international you've taken. You've also gone to Ethiopia to support
Hmm.
the foundation Girls Gotta Run. First of all, I love Ethiopian food. I mean, the
Hmm.
injera is fantastic. For those who don't know, Google an Ethiopian restaurant and get some takeout because it's phenomenal. But
It's insanely good food. Yeah.
oh, the Doro Wat, all of that. But I just think it's so amazing that you continued to serve others. And I love what you said in your post. You said changing the world one step at a time. What has it been like to go to Ethiopia and talk about training and marathon running with younger women in the world?
Yeah, it's really been incredible that I feel like I've gotten to do so many things through this sport that like running can be such a like individual sport so many times, and getting the chance to give back through that and kind of use my knowledge and my experience to be able to help others, especially girls in the program who are like 12 to 16. Many are very passionate about running, but they face really real challenges in their life, whether it's poverty with childhood marriage or coming from broken families. And so being able to like connect with them through running has been such a like such a deeply moving experience for me, and I feel like I've learned so much from them too. And truthfully, when I'm over there and I'm doing workouts with them, a lot of times they're kicking my butt in these workouts. We're at like 9,000 feet. So yeah, I feel like it's like it's so powerful for me to get to go over and help out, but I also feel like they have influenced me so much in how I approach my own life.
Well, and speaking of training at high altitude, I read you're also in Denver, and you have to let me know next time because I actually have my own donut. The year we won a Super Bowl, I ate so
What?
much of this donut shop that they gave me my own donut. It's a glaze with orange creamsicle filling. It's fantastic. We'll have to do it next time
What's
you're
the donut
training.
shop? What's the donut shop?
It's called Habit Donut Dispensary. We kind of play on words here in Denver, so
Ooh,
it's a
I like
fantastic.
that.
Yeah, it's an artisan donut shop, though. Very
Oh,
artisan.
that sounds really bougie.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, well, maybe I am. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. One of the things I love about your story the most, and it's amazing what you have done in your career. I mean, Molly, you're one of the most decorated, if not the most decorated athlete to ever come through Notre Dame. But after being in the NFL for 10 years, what I love is your honesty about how hard it has been mentally to be an athlete.
Mhm.
I had a mental performance coach my entire career, and you've been honest about working your way out of things to make you successful. What
Mhm.
was your process to create the mindset and the freedom in your mind to reach your greatness?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was is I struggled with my mental health all through college. And I think having the people around me that were able to like let me get help and support me through that and not stigmatize what I was going through, that is ultimately what helped me like be able to come out of it and be able to finally get healthy and start really taking my mental health seriously. And I just realized now looking at in the sport that I'm in how big of a role mental health plays not only in just performance but just in your day-to-day life. And so I'm always the first to say is like if your mind isn't right, like your body's not going to be able to perform to like its fullest capacity. So I do a lot now in terms of like still working with the therapist, still like trying to check in with my mental health. And that's not to say that I don't have like ups and downs and times that I really struggle, but I think just being aware of it and having the support network around me has been like absolutely instrumental. I would not have made the Olympic team without like my support network around me supporting me the entire way.
That's incredible strength. I mean, I've
Mhm.
been on teams and it's hard to say, hey, I need help or hey, I'm dealing with this. And not only
Mhm.
that, you're an inspiration for others who are in
Mhm.
sport who need to focus on their mental health as well. And I just want you to know before I ask your last question, I mean, you are the epitome of a Notre Dame graduate. Not only are you great, not only did you graduate, you've gone beyond, inspired women around the world. And oh,
Mhm.
by the way, talk about an issue that is very, very at the forefront of our minds. A recent study said that Americans went from 20% of a mental health issues and needing help with mental health to
Mhm.
40% in this COVID experience. So I just thank you for your leadership and for your strength. It really is amazing. And as a Notre Dame graduate and as a Notre Dame superstar in the world of sports, what does Notre Dame mean to you? When you think about campus and you think about your time at school, what do you think about the most?
So so I grew up just like immersed in like Notre Dame. My mom went to St. Mary's. I grew up going to like the Notre Dame football games. And I think when I was younger, I just saw Notre Dame. It was just like such a family and just this place. It had energy. And every time I went to campus, I was so excited. And then I became a student there. And it was just even more than I could have imagined because it's just like I don't know, you kind of live it, you breathe it. It's just it's an attitude towards everything. And even now, like the work that I do in Ethiopia, the volunteer work, those are like ideals and like ideas about like giving back that I really had fostered at Notre Dame. And so I feel like it's just this sense of like being more than just yourself. You're a part of something bigger. And every time I step on campus, I get that. And I still get it. And it's still fun whenever I go back to campus. So, yeah, I would say that probably like the Notre Dame legacy and what I feel there is just you're a part of something bigger.
Well, you truly are. And just real quick, I always want to know what are you looking forward to doing first when you touch down in Tokyo? I mean, you're officially going to be an Olympian when you touch down there. What's the one thing you're looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to going for a run through the city.
Nice, nice. I like it. She is Molly Seidel, one of the greatest athletes to ever go through Notre Dame. Thank you so much, Molly, and good luck.
Thanks so much for having me. Go Irish.
Go Irish.